Okay.
What the heck is going on? All right, so let's take it from the top. Now you're working on a new campaign now.
Yes.
What's for sale?
For sale is it's actually it's a software to manage accommodation requests with HIPAA compliance, and it's like risk for disability lawsuits. So it's like, it's, I guess, like what's happening is the HR, they're having, like, they have issues when it comes to
They do.
disability lawsuits and keeping everything in order, and transaction times, and having everything ready for the right times, and it's a mess. So
We don't know that yet. We suspect.
yeah, we suspect it's a mess.
Our
That's
market, right, are people that are struggling with what?
With sales.
What are they struggling with? Like the client is software, right?
Yes.
Software solves a problem, right?
Yes.
What problem inside a few words do they solve? Access to data, access to HR data,
Access, manage accommodation requests for HIPAA
accommodation.
compliance. Yes, accommodation.
So what you need to start doing, son, is you need to start tagging these little cliche phrases because they're important. They fit into the lemonade statement because they're power words and phrases. Help take what used to be this in terms of an explanation down to this. You got to be really quick. Got to be quick
Oh,
on the
yeah.
draw here. You got 10 seconds. Right? So you were mentioning what kind of request?
It's accommodation, paperwork, disability, like paperwork, disability, disabled lawsuits, disability
You can
lawsuits.
see how we're trying to create a word puzzle here and try to get out of the word salad bowl into something quick. It's got to be quick, right? You know, we've been through this before.
Sure.
So we have software. What department within the company is most likely to see a benefit from the software?
HR.
Okay,
Yeah.
write that down. HR. Because these pointers help build the dialogue string. All right, so you can explain yourself quickly. So you got to put some thought. I mean, not everybody's a prospect. So, all right, who's a prospect? Well, somebody in HR in position of authority who may be having trouble accessing or processing or delivering or receiving or sending or working with, right? Okay, so that's how we start building the gold call lemonade statement. Okay, so we've got an HR person who you suspect, based on the information you read about this software, that there may be some difficulty in accessing information in a timely fashion, in the right format, and well, the right information, the right format, and delivered to what, right? So access to information, that's universal. Now, that's not enough to get you to listen to me because I haven't yet told you specifically what kind of discomfort, what kind of headache does our aspirin get rid of, right? So you mentioned something about accommodation requests. Now, I don't know what that is, and you don't know if the prospect knows what that is, do you? If I said you're an HR director for a company with 100 people, right?
Yeah.
Could be 1,000 people, whatever.
Yeah.
When I mentioned the term, right, because this could be the focus question.
The focus, yeah.
So we help HR directors access pertinent information or access accommodation, or make it easier for HR directors to work with accommodation requests. I'm guessing. I just got the class today, so you got to give me a
No, for sure. No, I like it.
I don't know.
I like it.
I'm just
It's
going
great.
on what you're telling me, but you can see how simple it is. You got to start at the egg, at the genesis. Don't make any assumptions that they even know what an accommodation request is.
Yeah, that's true. I was thinking about the experience I have. Once I've been taught, like yesterday I started calling, and I've been getting the HR. I've been getting HR leaders and HR, I think safety and health,
Mhm.
HR safety and health, and most of them are just brushing me off or just saying I don't handle that,
Well,
and then
yeah, well, that's because they don't have a lemonade statement and a focus question. But if they don't handle that, then whose attention do I need to get if I put that information within reach
mm,
on demand?
for
In
sure.
Okay,
And when
so
I say disability lawsuits, they're like, okay, I got their attention when I say disability lawsuits, when
disability lawsuits. Okay, well, we want to
yeah,
write that down too, because yeah,
yeah,
you're right. Because that
that's
that makes the chime ring
trigger,
louder,
yeah.
rings the bell louder, right? Catastrophic. How to help people avoid catastrophic outcomes when they're working with accommodation requests. Okay. Yeah. We need to embellish and we need to
Mhm.
have people feel and have a
Feel it.
connection to the
Oh yeah.
pain, to the
Yes,
business
sir.
challenge, the problem, right? Unless my prospect is connected to the problem in some way, I don't have a deal. I don't have the makings of a deal. How am I going to? I'm trying to sell a car to a guy that loves to walk,
Yeah,
right? I could
yeah.
spend all day trying to tell them that the car get them there sooner, it'll get them there safer, it'll keep them dry when it's raining, it'll keep them warm when it's snowing, and I can go on and on. But if I'm talking to a guy that's just, for his own personal reasons, is set on walking, not driving, then I got a tough customer. So the first thing I want to do is I want to find out whether the prospect is in a market, and if I'm talking to the right person, right? That's my goal. So I get my 10 seconds, and I think the only thing necessary here, because I don't think your call
Yeah.
has any clarity until you get to the focus question. Okay. I don't think you have any
Okay.
specificity in the call. So my lemonade statement is we work with HR directors and help them, we help HR directors access what kind of information. Is it legal information? Is it workers' comp information? What kind of information am I struggling now to access quickly?
Mm.
Okay, because we need something. I mean, you mentioned lawsuit. My ears went up right away. So if you're helping
Yeah.
HR directors avoid lawsuits involving workers' comp claims, okay,
Yeah.
we're kind of peeling down. We're getting specific here. So you got to take a
Sure.
look at this company, the software that they've already sold. Do they have any customers?
No.
Non-customers. All right. So somebody has developed a software product that they want to go to market with, and they suspect there's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
The thing is that when you're a no-name company, you need to help people understand not what my company is about, but what I may be in a position to do for them. Okay. I don't want people thinking about my website or my brochures or third-party client references or anything. I want them to be totally focused. And that's why we're guiding them through these. You know what a canal lock is, the Panama Canal,
Yeah.
right? That's Norte de Colombia, right?
Yes.
See? So you go through a series of locks that step up till you reach parity, Parity, word of the day. You achieve parity so that you and I, although we are speaking English right now, if it's necessary for me to speak in another form or way, I need to know that up front. So we got to know who we're calling and what the potential value to that person might be. Okay. We don't want to assume and say anything about that might express value or benefit. That's the whole thing. It's almost like bobbing for apples. Have you ever heard of that game, bobbing
Yeah.
for apples?
Of
Okay.
course.
So you got your hands behind your back, and all you have is your mouth, and you got to go into a bucket, and you got to grab an apple with your mouth. Okay. That's what I'm talking about here. You cannot use your hands. You cannot use features and benefits to grab the apple or grab someone's attention. Okay. Only your mouth. And the only way you can't bite at the apple. Well, the apple will go, it's in water. That floating apple is going to go away. So I've got to approach it gently, right? The slower I try to bite the apple, that's the key. If you're aggressive and you try to bite the apple, you're probably not going to get it on the first shot. And we only get one shot at a great first impression. So there's our predicament. So we've got to make crystal clear what our lemonade statement is. What are we trying to help people with? So when you look at the product and what their mission statement is and what they're trying to do, it seems like they're providing some kind of, well, why don't you tell me? I mean, what is it? Is it a software product, or do I subscribe to a software database or something? I mean, I'm not quite sure what the software does.
Yeah, the software, it just, all it does, it's actually, it accommodates. So they usually have like a software themselves.
Mhm.
The software that they keep their clients, they keep everything in track.
Mhm.
Well,
A
that's
database.
a database.
All right,
Yeah.
here we go. A database. They have a database, yes.
Yes, and then the software that they provide it does normal things, really, like just just keep track of any like any lawsuits that have been
All right, stop. Lawsuits from outside the company to the company, or is this reference data about lawsuits that are currently in court?
Oh no, this is within the company, and it's actually targeting specifically disability lawsuits.
Okay, there we go. The chime again. We've rung it. The bell. Disability lawsuits. Okay. Now, I'm trying to, all right. So I've been down this road, not personally, but fraudulent disability claims. Now, please write that down. Fraudulent disability claims. So I could do something special to help companies avoid fraudulent disability claims. I help companies avoid fraudulent disability claims. Holy cow, 7 words. Oh, it's impossible. How the heck am I going to buy anything if that's all I know, right? That's the problem. Then you start explaining. And if you give people too much to eat, just the sight of it will make them not hungry, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we want to spoon feed gradually through the Panama Canal. We're moving up here. So, hola Guiermo, ¿cómo estás? Bien?
Bien.
All
Sí.
right. ¿A dónde estás? ¿A dónde estás?
Medellín,
You speak
Colombia.
Spanish, man, or not?
Medellín, Colombia. Yes.
You're in Colombia. Don't tell me you speak French. All right. So I'm hoping I have 10 seconds to explain my call. I am helping companies avoid fraudulent disability claims. That's it. All right. Now, you mentioned something before. What was that thing again? Something acknowledgement or what?
About the accommodations or
Accommodation. Okay. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, that's he just wrote that. He wrote that on it's actually Reeve, the one who the executive. He wrote, "We can reduce your risk for disability lawsuits and help you avoid paperwork for disability accommodations." That's what they wrote.
Disability accommodations. All right, that's something I'm going to have to. I'm not quite sure. It sounds like a process internal to HR departments where
It's an internal, yeah. It's like it's not just like a software that they
well,
made
we
up
don't
that's
need to
gonna
get
make.
into all of that right now.
Yeah.
The purpose of the gold call is to just strike a chord, capture the attention of the prospect, be relevant, make sure they
Yeah.
understand that we help companies avoid fraudulent disability claims. That's it. That's all I need to know. Then the next thing I do, right? Now, why would I be calling HR about this? Why wouldn't I be calling in-house counsel, like a general
That's
counsel for a company?
that's a good point, because I've been thinking about who I need to target and all that, and I've been calling these health and safety, and they're very clueless. They're like they have no like authority, like real authority. They're like, I'm not the one that I don't even want to get into. I'm not the person to handle that.
Okay,
It's
no, I
happened like 3
understand.
times, and
Relevance, we've got
it's
to.
like, yeah,
So
it
when I
seems like
start
it's
talking
not the
about
right.
lawsuits, I'm relevant to someone who is a corporate counsel. So if they use general counsel is a search term, okay? You use that in LinkedIn Sales Navigator to find people who are general counsel for a company, and you got to figure out if it's a company with 100 employees or does your product fit for a company with more than 1,000 employees. So I assume you're going after the SMB market. Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't pass 2,000,
So
2,300
there you're probably going to
employees.
get more attention sooner rather than later with this SMB target market. So if I get a general counsel on the phone, all right, now, you gotta, first of all, you have to get into character. All right. You're a lawyer, abogado, abogando, right?
Abogado, yes.
Abogado, en español, abogado.
Abogado.
All right. So then I got to be a lawyer. Okay. So it needs a little bit of William behind this thing. All right.
Sure.
I want you to sound like you're a subject matter expert and an authority on helping companies avoid fraudulent disability claims. Okay. All right.
Yes.
I don't need to tell them it's a software company or anything like that. William, my name is Pete Ekstrom with ABC Company. I hope I have 10 seconds to explain my call. Our company helps companies avoid fraudulent disability claims. Now, before I go on any further, right?
Yep.
Now, only someone with concerns about fraudulent disability claims is going to pay any attention to me. Fair? That's a fair statement, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so my focus question is, William, when it comes to this part of the business, how concerned are you? Not are you concerned, because that's yes or no, and that's too easy. How concerned are you about the threat? The threat, got to underline that word, threat of fraudulent disability claims against your company. So now we have the makings of conversation. We're giving birth to it here. We're almost in a delivery room. Okay. Because if there was something that I do that would help you avoid all of, I guess, problems related to fraudulent disability, if I can help you, if I can keep you from being sued, would I get any of your attention? The disability. If there was something that my product does to help keep you from being sued for a disability, a fraudulent disability claim, would I get any of your attention? So I got to tee this up, this attention question. I got to make it sound like, who would say no? No, I'd rather be sued and deal with it later. So whenever you are served, you're served when you're sued, and you got all kinds of legal fees. Write that down.
Legal fees. You got to hit them where it hurts.
This is where, that's right, man. It comes down. Time and money. That's it. If you can get your problem, right? Time and money. Knowledge is power, right? So if you know in advance what you need to do in order to detect and defend, we help companies detect and defend against fraudulent disability claims. All right, we got to go to the counter again. We help companies detect, right, and defend fraudulent disability claims. I got 9 words. There they are, man. Nueve. ¿Qué se dice 9 en español?
9.
Hey. Hey, bueno. Okay. All right. We help companies detect
and define disability claims.
Detect and defend against fraudulent disability claims. Now, when you're speaking in the gold call, you have to continue pedaling the bicycle. Now, you ride a bicycle, right? Manejar un bicicleta?
Sí.
Okay. So, what happens when you stop pedaling? Fall down.
The motion stops and you start rolling, or depending if you're on a hill. So
like that.
Yeah.
So we got to keep going here. So the call sounds like this. Hi, this is William from ABC Company. I hope I have 10 seconds to explain my call. And it's got to sound like that because you want to come across as, hey, I'm unarmed, I'm not a threat, and I need 10 seconds. And that's why it works 98% of the time.
I always use it. I love it. Yeah.
You must
Yeah.
open channel of communication, or you're just throwing stuff up against the wall. You're just throwing, itching. Good God. So now that I have my 10 seconds, my company helps companies detect and defend against fraudulent disability claims. Oh, you can feel the power in that, right? But before I go on any further, and that's a key intersection in the gold call because it pivots. I'm in control of directing your attention. And we also talked about how your words, your speech delivery controls the mindset of your prospect. You want to get them thinking like you're thinking.
Yeah.
Detection, defense against fraudulent disability claims. But before I go on any further, right? How much concern do you have about fraudulent disability claims? Right? Make sure it's phrased that way. Don't say, do you have any concerns or, you having any difficulties with, okay? No, we are investigative sales journalists here. We're out in the field. We're gathering information. I'm also extremely objective because you may not be the right guy. And if you're not, or gal, right? I want to pivot and find out whose attention I want to get. So a little fork in the road. So hope I have 10 seconds. Our company helps companies detect and defend against fraudulent disability claims. But before I go on any further, how concerned are you about the threat? We used that word before, the threat of possible disability claim fraud or fraudulent. How concerned are you? I mean, do you think about it? Does it bother you? Does it impact you? What are your thoughts? How about this? What are your thoughts about fraudulent disability claims? All right. This is all pull selling. Okay. The key is never, we're bobbing for apples here. We are not allowed to mention positive, reassuring statements in our introduction at all, or you're going to be chasing their attention till you get to an endpoint of nowhere, really. I mean, and sending in for whatever. We've been there. All right. We know the brush off when we hear it.
Yeah.
So I'm okay if you're not the right person. But if there was something that my company does that would help you avoid fraudulent disability claims and the legal expense associated with that, write that down, and the legal costs and the process associated with that. This is the only place in the whole script that gets any mention of value at all, because I've got to exchange value in exchange for your attention. Okay, so we have a deal here. Okay, if I will you, all right, give and take. That's a deal. So if I had a way to help your company avoid fraudulent disability claims in advance, right?
Yes.
Or avoided fraudulent disability claims and the legal costs associated with defending yourself, or just the legal cost. Just keep it simple. If I did something that would help you avoid fraudulent disability claims and associated legal costs, because you're avoiding cost, you're avoiding penalty, correct? That's your business. Okay. Repeat after me. I am in the business of helping people avoid penalty and the cost associated with that penalty. Okay. So when you're facing a lawsuit, you are being challenged, and that means you have to pay. So I would rather not pay if I don't have to, which is our business. We want to help you not go down the path of defending yourself against a disability claim. If there was a way to know about it in advance, there's a way to detect and defend against fraudulent disability claims. Okay. Now, The only thing that we're on the phone to do is to get somebody to pay attention to us at a scheduled time, right?
Yes.
All right. So we're setting appointments for field sales. So after I ask you this loaded question, if there was something that I do to help you avoid fraudulent disability claims and legal expenses, there you go, legal expenses. Sure. Would I get any of your attention? Now go ahead and tell me no.
No.
Why not? I appreciate you. First of all, I want to appreciate you for, for telling me that. May I ask why?
It just, I don't want to get into all that, and I don't really handle that.
Okay. So when you told me that you have growing concerns about fraudulent disability claims, I'm confused. It sounded like, okay, you see where you're going?
Yeah.
You have no shot at that rebuttal as a sales prospect if I have properly executed the focus question. You can't do that.
Yeah.
See, there's no objection.
You're right.
There's no objections in the
Makes
go.
no sense. Yeah.
Right.
So why is he gonna throw it off? He sounds like a clown.
Pick up the phone or whatever. You breathe
Yeah.
easy because you're not pressing anybody to buy anything. I just want you to.
One, yeah. I like that.
Because I may have a way to help you avoid expensive, fraudulent disability claims. And if I could do that, would I get any of your attention? It's hard to lay off of that.
It's hard to lay. Yeah. It's
now I always, depending on, because I spend more time listening. Your reaction has a lot to do with what I'm going to say next, as far as, are you looking at your calendar? Can you look at your calendar? Here comes the deal. Now that you've decided to pay attention to me, now we have to decide when I'm going to have that attention, and you and I are going to get better acquainted and see where we have a fit. And William, I'm going to leave it to you to decide if we have anything further to talk about. Okay. Okay. You see, matter of fact. All right. Let's keep this personal and not so much a seminar or a workshop or some other structured, stringent environment that we're dealing with each other in. Look, I can't say for sure. And if you listen to my call recordings, you'll hear me. I say, look, I can't promise you anything. But if there was something, right, you put that at the front of the attention question. I can't promise you anything. But if there was something that I do to help you avoid fraudulent disability claims and the legal expenses, would I get any of your attention? You see the tonality and the voice inflection? That's how you bring people to you. When you're pitching, you're a carnival barker, an auctioneer sold to the man, right?
Yeah.
It's all push selling. You're trying to please people. You're trying to appeal to people. All I want to do is I want to appeal to your better sense of common sense. Okay. And that's why I say, look, I can't promise you anything, but I'm helping companies avoid fraudulent disability claims and the legal expenses. Given that I do that, would I get any of your attention all through this? So now when I come back to you and you have growing concern, because your prospect has growing concerns or some concern about how to defend against fraudulent disability claims. The companies that would have fraudulent disability claims are companies that have a lot of people doing heavy labor. Oil burner, oil service, home heating, HVAC, heating, ventilation, and air conditioning, construction. Okay.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense because I've been calling, like yesterday, they put me to test and I was calling the city of London, I'm calling Canada. And
Right.
I was calling city of London. I was calling the Peel region police. It was like the police. And that's what I realized, that, the target is very important. And, you're doing heavy labor, construction. These are the people that are going through this. And, they wouldn't have just one. Maybe these office buildings, they'll have one or two, three, but if we're talking, but we got to keep in mind, Peter, that is someone that has a disability will be working in these heavy labor places.
Well, I don't care where they work. Why would I care where they work? If they, maybe I'm misunderstanding your question. Companies that have employees that are doing supermarkets, construction companies,
Yeah.
Plumbing and heating. All right. I know this from personal experience. I know a guy that
Yeah, yeah.
oil
Pretty
burners,
sure.
okay, and his knees went. And you know,
Okay. I know
I
what
mean,
you mean.
they had a van parked out of his house with, tinted windows, taking photos of him. I had a gal next door to me. She worked on
Wow.
Broadway, and somebody opened up a door and banged her spine, and she fell down a flight of stairs, and she couldn't work. Right.
Wow, yeah.
And there were people in my neighborhood that were videoing every move they make. Okay. Social Security disability
Yeah. Yeah.
and work disability, that kind of stuff is a big pool of fraud.
Yeah. Workers' compensation. Yeah.
Money, yeah, big money in that, if you can
Yeah.
get it. Like I know one guy that
Oh,
was full of,
wow.
I know one guy that was full of baloney. The lady wasn't full of baloney. Okay.
Mm,
No names mentioned, but I know the game.
okay.
So
Okay.
if your prospect comes back and says, well, how do you do that? Right. Well, that's the reason you're calling. Didn't want to go
No,
into
that was
today.
great, Pete. Just when you mentioned that, just it changed everything for me. I got into a different zone, and like I used to work pipe fitter in Canada. There used to be plumbing, and I remember a lot of things went on. Every other week there was a lawsuit. There's something has to be going on with these big companies, these industry companies, and like oil companies, and it makes complete sense. I wasn't looking at it that way. I was just looking, oh, people in the office, someone slips and falls, but I wasn't,
Any
taking it,
civil
looking.
service, you know, um,
Yeah.
I think it has more to do with legality than anything else, to be honest with you. And senior people in the company. So if I'm the owner of a small business of 50 guys, right, or gals, right, you know, I'm paying enough now for workers' comp. What's it cost to defend against a disability claim? Because the employer is going to be on the hook for that. Somehow or other, there's a penalty. I'm not sure what the monetary penalty or consequence is for making a payout. Long term too. I mean, you're disabled forever. Oh, matter of fact, I know three people, two fraudulent, one that wasn't. The lady still is not fraudulent, but the guy across the street from me that he went out on full disability, and I saw him shoveling bluestone and a pile of bluestone to make a driveway. He couldn't go to work and mow the lawn, right? But he could shovel bluestone. He's lucky he didn't get caught. All right.
Wow.
But
Yeah.
there's something about, I don't know everything to know about your software, but there's something about your technology that helps a company detect and defend against fraudulent disability claims. And if I do that, would I get any of your attention, William? Would I? Would I deserve
Yes,
it?
you would.
Right.
Yes,
So
you
what am
get
I
a
doing?
little bit, but yes, you do get it.
All I'm doing, the purpose of the call is to get to first base. And first base is an unobstructed path to the front door of someone's front of mind attention. I want to be a priority, right? So lots of things we can go into as to how to find these people, whatever, but just manual labor, any company that is dependent upon manual or unskilled labor is going to be a candidate.
Oh, yeah.
And I would suggest that you call the owner of the company. I really do. Okay. Start at the top. When you
Start at
start
the
out, you
top.
don't know these people could hate their job, hate their boss, and could be looking for another job. I don't know. I'm not a mind reader. That's why we go through the gold calls to try to peel back the onion and get to the truth there. Do I have
That's how I felt. That's Peter. That's how I felt yesterday. I felt like she can handle it. She felt like I felt like she was brushing me off. Like, I don't handle that, but wanted to listen. She was like, okay, you can send this email to here, but I'm not
right?
the one. But I felt like she wanted to listen more.
Yeah, when
But
you're not relevant, not talking to
yeah,
the right person. This call is really simple, man. It really is. I mean, it's a hit and run. It is either I get your attention or I don't, and you should be able to do it within inside 4 minutes. Okay. So
yeah.
let's go from top to bottom, right? Show you how this thing. Let me make a cold call to you. Hello, is this
Okay.
William?
Yeah, it's Will. How can I help you?
William, this is Pete Ekstrom from Ekstrom Corporation, and I'm hoping I have 10 seconds to explain my call.
Okay.
My company helps companies detect and defend against fraudulent disability claims. Now, before I go on any further, let me ask you this. How concerned would you say you are with the threat or anything having to do with disability claims? Especially,
Well, I'm a little concerned. Yeah, that does concern me.
all right, well, I can't promise anything, but if there's something that I'm doing for other companies that would help you avoid disability claim lawsuits and the legal expenses, would I get any of your attention?
Yeah, yeah, you would.
I mean, you're shocked. Of course. Who could say no? All right,
Yeah.
William, can you look at your calendar? Let me know when I might have 15 minutes of your time. Let's get better acquainted, see if we have a fit. I'll leave it to you to decide if we should talk further. Is that fair?
Yeah, that sounds fair.
All right, so now we got a fair deal. We got the makings of an even
Yeah.
exchange of you're going to give me attention and I'm going to ask some questions and we're going to figure out whether or not there's a fit. And if there, listen, all right, if there isn't a fit, I always like to be the first to say so.
Say so. Yeah.
Because I don't want to waste anybody's time, especially yours, William. I know you're busy, right? Rapport, bonding, consideration for your time. I don't want to waste anybody's time. I don't want to waste my time as a salesperson, huffing and puffing like that wolf trying to blow down the brick house that has all the three little pigs in it. You know the story, right?
Of course.
That's how most salespeople are. They're like huffing and puffing and trying to blow the house down. You're working too hard. You're trying to pull people, and some people weigh more than other people, right? So the more resistance or the lack of relevance, the heavier the prospect, and it takes a lot more energy and work to pull them to you, you know? And usually if there's resistance because you sound like a telemarketer, they're already way out there. I got a long rope I got to pull in. So right now, I just want to make this decision come across as your decision. If there's something, I can't promise anything, but if there's something I might do to help you avoid disability claim lawsuits and the expense, would I get any of your attention? I want you to practice that, man. I want you to own it like a
For
Bible
sure.
verse. Okay.
Yeah.
You gotta have it because
I have it.
what the gold call does is that in a linear process that moves up and down, okay, it keeps you safe and insulated from resistance and objections. Ain't nothing for sale, and I can't guarantee anything. But if your circumstances are similar to other companies we work with, there's a good chance I may be able to help you avoid fraudulent disability claims and a legal expense. If I did that, would I get any of your attention? There's so many different ways, but let's keep it simple. I can't promise anything, but if I had a way to help you avoid disability claim, fraudulent disability claim, and the legal expenses, would I get any of your attention? That's it.
For sure.
All right. So that's the call. Don't read into the call and take on more responsibility for selling them the value of the call so that they buy into it and say, yeah, sure, I'll schedule a call with you next week and see a demo. And then after you hang up the phone, they come down off the emotion and they forget all about it. All
Yeah.
the bits and bytes and details because it's too much for them to store and recall. So I want to make it easy. That's why I talk to people in soundbite. It's all quick shots of statements and questions. Hi, William. This is Pete Ekstrom from ABC Company. I hope I have 10 seconds to explain my call. Thank you. My company helps companies avoid, let me go back to my company. Well, I could use avoid. My company helps companies detect and defend against fraudulent disability claims. But before I go on any further, how concerned are you about disability claims, especially the fraudulent ones, right? Just phraseology here. Think of putting your sentences and questions together as you're assembling dialogue.
Yeah. Yes.
Putting them in boxes. Just, you ever play Scrabble?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're kind of working this thing like a game of Scrabble. There's a syntax, and some words have more points than others, right? I know a Z has more points than an A, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So we want to find those high value letters, phrases, right? To include in our lemonade statement. So if I'm helping people detect and defend against fraudulent disability claims, and then I ask you, how How concerned are you about disability claims? Or how concerned are you about fraudulent disability claims? That's a loaded question. Now that gets me to either you care or you don't care, right? It's door number one, door number two. If you don't care, or it's not you, then I want to downshift into my attention question that gets me to the right person, which is, well, if there was something, I can't promise anything, but if there was something I could do to help your company avoid fraudulent lawsuits and a legal expense, whose attention would I need to get? In your opinion? Or who's the first person you would call to talk about it? Now,
That's good.
if they don't want to give you a name, I'd say that's okay. Just first name's fine. And they'll say Pedro. Oh, okay. What does Pedro do for you? Oh, he's our in-house counsel. You see how this works? You got to pull the information out of people, but you got to calm down and stop being don't be an auctioneer. You're not in a hurry. Now, if you're dealing with a superior, a ball, whatever, and if their numbers counting, then they want appointments for the sake of an appointment. I think that's crazy, but you got to give who's ever paying you what it is that they want, right? You got to, you have a job responsibility here, but most people tell me they prefer quality over quantity. Okay. So when we get down to it, like I said, an owner of a company, a CFO of a company, or inside legal counsel, or what they call general counsel, I'm going to be extremely relevant with those people. Stakeholders of a company don't want to be paying anything more because that eats into their profits, weakens their company's balance sheet. There's probably some other fallout as well, but it's the money, right? That's why you get sued. What are they looking for? An apology? Huh? I don't think so.
That's good. Yeah.
Looking for compensation, bottom line. And they're going to do anything that they possibly can do to try to, stay indoors all day so the van with the tinted windows doesn't take a picture.
Yeah.
We have a call coming in, and I'm going to have to just say, can I call you back in 5 minutes? Which is, Bobby, I'll call you back in 5 minutes. 10-4. All right. I don't mind being busy. That means I'm being profitable. All right. Okay. Questions at this point? Questions?
No, everything is great. Everything's, I'm taking it all in. I know how I wanted to use what our old script as well, but it's mostly the same thing. It's the same thing.
Now that we have our gold call script built, right?
Yeah.
Can you recite it back to me in Espanol?
What do you mean?
Pregúntame en español. Dígame en español. The gold call script. Hola, mi nombre es Guiermo. Me espero. Come on, man. You're Colombian. I'm teaching you Spanish.
Okay. Buenos días. ¿Cómo se encuentra hoy, caballero?
Bueno. Sí.
Excelente. Muy bien por recibir mi llamada. Me llamo William de Access Resolve. Y si puedo tener 10 segundos de su tiempo.
Okay. Now, what were you asking me? I heard tiempo time, but I didn't.
10 segundos. May I have 10 seconds?
I'm sorry. Sí, no problema. Continúa, por favor.
Excelente. Excelente. Nosotros ayudamos compañías a detectar fraude para los casos de disabilidad. Pero antes que yo sigo de hablar, esto es algo que a usted le interesa.
Es más importante conmigo porque tengo muchos empleados y es un problema. ¿Por qué te preguntas?
Ok, no, pero antes que yo siga de hablar, usted
I can't promise anything.
Yo no puedo prometerte algo.
Right.
No puedo prometerte algo, pero usted I don't know how to put that word. How concerned are you about disability claims or fraudulent?
Okay,
I don't
well,
know how to
we
put.
go to a translation engine for that and get the dialect connected. So don't sweat. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Pregúntame la pregunta de atención.
Okay. Y si yo tenía una forma de, y si yo tenía una forma de quitar todos los gastos legales
Mhm.
de su compañía para que no gasten más plata, ahí sí tengo su atención.
Sí, ¿por qué no?
Ah, excelente. Peter, usted está mirando su calendario.
Un momento.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
¿Puede mirar su calendario?
La próxima martes.
Para ver si usted tiene un tiempo disponible para hablar sobre esto. La otra semana, o esta semana, mañana a las 2 de la tarde.
3 en la semana.
Ok, a las 3. Perfecto. Vamos a
Tengo,
estar en
tengo
contacto.
tiempo la semana próxima, en martes, solamente a las 3 en la tarde.
3 de
Okay.
la tarde, perfecto. Yo le voy a mandar una invitación de calendario y vamos a estar hablando. Muchas gracias.
Well, Nel, gracias por tu llamar. Right? Okay. So there we went through it in Spanish, right?
Yeah.
All right. I didn't know where we were in the icebreaker. We were still in the icebreaker, but that's it, man. Now I know you don't, se vende en español, but
I haven't practiced in a while, but yeah, it's
well, I'm
good to
gonna
practice.
work. Look, I'm no profesor en español, all right? Soy un estudiante, pero me encanta la conversación en español.
Claro,
Okay, so
claro.
aprendamos, okay? Nosotros aprendamos. That
Sí,
means we
señor.
learn.
Sí, señor.
All right. ¿Tienes más preguntas por mí?
No, todo está perfecto. Todo está perfecto. Voy a sacarlo, voy a imprimirlo. I'm gonna print it out. Are you gonna, you're not gonna write it out for me? You want me to just do it?
Oh, I want
Or-
you to make the calls based on our call today. You took notes, and I want you to
Okay,
make the
I
call,
got it.
and then I want to hear from me about how it went. Okay. You should be able to get somebody on the calendar just to talk to see where we have a fit. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's it. Look, I've got a way. I can't promise anything, but there's a way. There's something I do to help companies avoid fraudulent disability lawsuits and the legal expense. Okay. Let's not make this thing a big deal. That's all you're looking for. All right.
Great. I appreciate that. No,
Oh,
you made it really easy. Yeah. Perfecto. Me lo hizo muy fácil.
Más
Gracias.
fácil de las
Sí.
otras palabras. Okay. Muy difícil cuando hablar mucho.
Mm, sí.
No, es la verdad. All right.
Yes,
So
sir.
that said, my friend, you know your homework. You know what you have to do next. I want you to get to it. And if you have any más preguntas, I want you to let me know. Call me or send me an email. All right. Let me know how it's going. You should be able to bag these appointments really quickly. Okay. Disability
Okay.
claims are on my mind as an owner of a company or general counsel. Okay.
Makes
I got to be.
sense. No, the way
Especially,
you put it makes complete sense now. And it's just, I felt that it was just like a little corner of, HR that doesn't really have to deal with it. But obviously, if there's a big lawsuit going on, the big guy has to know about it.
right.
And he's the one that it'll hurt him, So I stated here, I actually wrote down the CFO or the general counsel main target, which, I appreciate that. And I think, this helps a lot.
Okay.
Helps a lot.
Come ti senti ora?
Perdón?
I said, ¿cómo ti senti ora?
Oh, ¿cómo me siento ahora? Ahora me siento
Yeah. How do you feel
muy
now?
bien.
Comprende?
Bien, mejor.
All
Mejor
right.
que antes. Me
Comprendamos.
siento mejor.
All right, amigos, nos vemos. Hablamos la semana próxima. Tiene un buen día en
Listo.
Colombia.
Ahí yo la escribo. Usted también en Nueva York.
Adios y buena suerte.
Hasta luego.